Hey, good morning. Well, this morning I'm going to try a new skinny syrup. This is the coconut. It's interesting because some people have told me that they don't care for coconut. Now, I don't care for like coconut, if it's dried and not moist, but I love coconut flavor. It's kind of funny. It's like when I was growing up, I loved the odor of coffee, but the actual taste of coffee, eh. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got milk in my mug already. I'm going to pour in some coconut. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to sit up on my counter and be able to have a little chat. I'm using the Nespresso Amaretti coffee. Actually, that's an almond flavor, and I just put coconut in there. I don't have any almond. So we'll see how that goes. And so while that's brewing, I just real quick, let me sit up here. So I just real quick wanted to share that I had an interesting thought this morning. I was looking in the mirror and I thought, gee, I'm almost 70. I have friends who are in their 80s. Some of these people, I didn't know them until they were older. And then there's some people like the gals I went to high school with who were around the same age as me. And it's really funny how you look at people. How you see things, not just people, but things in life, is so informed by what you already know. It's like you may not be aware of it, but you are looking through a filter. My mother always used to say to me, you look at the world through rose-colored glasses. Who else's mother used to say that? Probably nobody who's younger than in their 60s. But anyway, so here's an example. I went to my 40th high school reunion back in 2009 or 10, and I couldn't believe it. All of those gals, it was an all-girls school, they all looked the same as they used to. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew them in a second. It was amazing. I thought, how does this happen? And then a couple of weeks later, when I went back to look at the pictures of the reunion, I didn't necessarily recognize everybody. It was like, wait, who is that? Because I was not looking at, a person who was animated and had a personality that, even though it had been 40 years, it was a personality that still had things in it I recognized. I didn't just recognize their looks, in other words. I recognized something much more deeply about them. So when I was just looking at the photographs, suddenly I saw in a lot of them, well, here's this group of older ladies. And because the photographs, of course, are static, they're still, wasn't quite sweet enough. There wasn't, personality and voice and movement coming along with them to further identify the person to me. And I was kind of like, who is that? Well, I just think it's, so I was looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, so this is how I look when I get older. It's okay. Grace says it's okay. Neighbor's walking down the stairs outside to go to work. Gray, it's all right. Come here. Oh, He's being protective. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that when I went to the reunion, I was looking for the people I went to high school with. And for the most part, I hadn't seen most of them in 40 years. And I saw what I was looking for. But then, like I'm telling you, when I looked at those pictures a week or two later, I could start to scrutinize and see the things that happen with age, the wrinkles, the saggier skin, things like that. And I kind of focused in on those. Actually, if I held the pictures further away so that I didn't see every detail, then they looked more like the gals that I knew in high school. Isn't that really something? So, I have a point. Needs to be warmed up a little more. No, that's not my point. My point is, I think very often in life, we see what we're looking for. Have you been in situations where your impression of the situation was a positive one and somebody else had a negative impression? Maybe, you came out of something and said, oh, that was so good for this reason, that reason. And somebody else said, well, yeah, but did you notice this and this and this? So what I'm saying is, a lot of what we see, what we perceive, is based on what we're expecting, how we are accustomed to looking at things. Let me give this a little stir so that you know how when you warm something in a microwave, it does not heat evenly. So it's not like doing it on a stove where convection happens and the heat spreads around. Anyhow, and I realize this is kind of weird to bring it back to coffee, but have you ever had an experience where somebody's told you, oh yeah, this is just fantastic, you are just going to love this, so on and so forth, and then you taste it and you might not have the same impression they had, because what they were saying, it builds up expectations in you. You're expecting certain things. You're expecting to, here's a good example. You know how when Nespresso comes out with a coffee, let me use the chocolate fudge as an example, okay? And people say, I don't taste chocolate, I don't taste fudge. But there are some people who really like it and they can discern something in there that is somehow reminiscent to them of chocolate fudge. Well, we build up expectations in our mind of how something should be. So I guess I'm just saying, why not build up positive, uplifting, encouraging expectations about life? And then you'd be more likely to notice those things. What do you think? I do it. It works for me. My attitude is, like for instance with coffee, and I do the same thing with people. If I don't seem to like it and it doesn't seem to work for me, I find a way to make it work. Because my feeling is, why be sour and down and negative? Figure out something to make things work better. Okay, have a good day. God bless you.